Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. One of my favorite videos because it's all about talking about baits. And this month, April, like the best bass fishing month, other than March and other than May. I guess they're all great bass fishing months, but April's a great one. We're gonna talk about the 3 baits that I have tied on that I think you need to have tied on if you're going out fishing in April.
From the top of the mountain.
All right, so April, you know, like a lot's happening. Like there's fish that have already spawned, there's fish that are spawning, there's a bluegill spawn going on, there's a shad spawn going on, there's a herring spawn going on. Lots of spawning going on. So keep that in mind when you're choosing your baits. And by any means, these are not the only baits to throw. You know, there's all other baits. Like you can go back and look at the previous April video or the April video before that and look at those baits. You can, if you're a little bit further north, you know, look at the March baits because those baits are going to come into play for you guys up there. But all right, let's get to it real quick. I think April, I think top water time, like top water, whether you live wherever, it's a top water time. But I'm going to talk about this April in particular because I'm here at Lake Murray. The herring spawn, like the herring spawn is on the cusp of happening here. And man, it's just a great bait to have tied on. And it's a saltwater bait. The one I've got tied on right here is a saltwater color. It's really cool. It's HD pilchard is what I'm gonna call it. That's the smaller version of the cane walker. And this thing looks just like a herring to me. You know, everybody says blueback herrings. They don't have bluebacks. They actually have green or brownish backs. But I'm gonna throw this one like on calm days, like clear water, like, you know, that's when those herring really get after it. And I really like the 110. It's a really good size. Now, if the wind's blowing, I'm gonna go up to the bigger size, like a 125. Now, chrome's another color I carry. There's gonna be another bait. Chrome's a great color. Super clear water, maybe more cloudy conditions, sunny conditions. It's a good bait also. And then I've got just a jaywalker. There's times that I don't want it so quick. I want it a little bit slower. And a jaywalker is gonna work in all areas. Like it's gonna be a deal, you know, back home in a shad spawn, a jaywalker is going to be a bait that works. But you know, this color here, right here, is Perfect Ghost. It really represents a herring really well too when you look at that. For whatever reason, herring, a lot of lakes are the chrome colors, but those are my 3 favorite colors in and around the herring spawn. Real quick, I'm going to just touch on the rod that I got them rigged on. I've got it on straight 50-pound Bass Pro XPS braid, a 6.9 medium action rod, a high-speed reel. Those things are all important. There are times that I will put like a mono or fluorocarbon leader, just a real short leader in here, not for fish, but to keep that braid. You know, sometimes braid, if you got really soft braid, it'll get caught in that front hook as it's working back and forth. So if that's happening, put you a little fluorocarbon leader right there. It'll keep that from happening right there. But that's my setups. High-speed reel, 6.9 rod. I can work it really quick. I'm going to be throwing this over flat points. We'll talk about that in next month's video, where to throw your baits in April, but I'll be throwing this on flat points. Okay, moving on. Shad spawn, you know, I mentioned that. Like this is, you'll notice like this color spinnerbait is called shad spawn. I love it. It's my favorite color. I can't tell you how much money and bass I've caught on this color spinnerbait. Like it was really important to me. And I like a tandem willow when I've got stained water. When I got water visibility that's like, what is that, 14, 16 inches? You know, when it gets more than 2 feet, then I want like a double willow leaf spinnerbait. But I really like a tandem willow, and the shad spawn to me is more of a stained water. You know, 3 foot, 2 foot, 1 foot type visibility. When you get 4, 5, 6 foot, you're going to use other baits in and around the shad spawn. But a 1/2 ounce shad spawn power blade is one of my favorites. I've also got right here a compact herring color. This is a really good one in and around those herring lakes. And then if you get in that dirty water, less than 1 foot of visibility, I'm going to throw just a 1/2 ounce chartreuse and white. It just, in and around that dirty water, you need a chartreuse and white one. So those are my 3 favorite spinnerbaits that I'm going to have tied on in April. And just choose which one you need for your body of water according to what color water you have. You know, as far as the setup, you know, I've got this one on a double wheel leaf because I've got really clear water here at Lake Murray, but a 7-1 medium heavy rod, 17 or 20 pound fluorocarbon. I've got this one on a fast gear ratio. Most of the time I throw it on a 6/8 to 1, but 6/8 to 1 or a high speed. Why do I have a high speed here? Because I'm really burning it. You know, when the wind gets to blowing on these herring points, you know, I'm burning it really quick across the water. But most of the time I don't burn it quite that quick. I'm trying to keep it, you know, a foot under the water, a foot and a half underneath the water in around that shad spawn. So that's my setup for that. All right, last bait. But real quick, you know, we're gonna give all this stuff away just like we do every month, but I wanna say this. There's so much spam on YouTube. If I do not say your name in this video, you do not win. I'm sorry, I'm not replying. That's a spam guy that's replying to you on those things. You know, don't ever send money, don't ever send anything. Like, I will only say your name on this video and you will contact me. I'm never contacting you, never asking for an email, asking for money to ship anything. It stinks that our world's come to that. So anyway, how do we give these away? I just randomly go through there and you know, pick 3 people that left a comment. So appreciate you guys doing that. All right, so the last bait, it is right here, a swim jig. Man, in and around the month of April, you know, we talked about bass spawning. Well, swim jig. This one right here, it says, you know, it's called gill spawn. There's a reason they named it gill spawn, because when bass are spawning, a bluegill comes in and tries to take their fry, their eggs, you know, so they're all the time defending their nest. So you've got like a bluegill colored one, you know, this is green pumpkin, this is a gill spawn, you know, these both really represent a bluegill really well. That's one reason to throw a swim jig in April. Another reason to throw a swim jig in April is the shad spawn. That's why I have a white one. You know, it represents a shad really well, really weedless. I can throw it in and around docks, down laydowns, swim it down even bluffs, or all kinds of places that you swim it. But you know, with bass spawn. And then another reason to throw it is the bluegill actually spawn in April on the first full moon. And that's another way you can swim that thing in and around spawning pockets where bluegill spawn, and bass are in there eating on those bluegills. So there's lots of reasons to throw a swim jig. It's very weedless. It's up in the water column. You know, there's those days that they won't quite go all the way up to a top water. You can swim your jig right underneath the water. If you guys haven't been swimming a jig, it's one of the best techniques, especially in the month of April. So as you're swimming a jig, it's really important on your trailers, guys. I'm going to send these in with the package when I give these away, but I matched my trailer to the bait. And this is just a Berkeley Shape 108 little 3-inch. It fits perfectly on there. I just thread that on there. And I just want to make sure everything's super straight. Come right out the top. And then I'm gonna trim that skirt just a little bit. That skirt's a little long. See, like as I throw that skirt, you can't really see my trailer. I want a compact bait. I want to make sure they get that I'm gonna put that so my trash doesn't fall on the ground. All right, so now you notice I turned that jig upside down as I trimmed it. That kind of gives it that bluegill shape. But you can see right there, now my little kickers are out. Looks perfect. I got the orange on the bottom for like a bluegill, and that is the perfect swim jig combination. There are times if I see a lot of chartreuse, you know, on those bluegills when I'm you know, looking in the water, I'll put a little chartreuse dye right there on those pinchers. I'll spread that weed guard out just a little bit like that. There are times also if I'm really throwing it in open water, I trim the top of that weed guard just like that. And what it does is it shortens those fibers on the front side and leaves the fibers longer on the back side. So it thins it out just a little bit to help your hookup percentage. I throw a swim jig just depending, like if I'm in and around docks, fairly open water, I'm gonna throw it on fluorocarbon, like 20-pound fluorocarbon, a 7.3 carbon light heavy rod. If I'm in and around grass, lily pads, thick cover, I'm gonna throw it on 50-pound braid on that same rod, you know, something that doesn't have any stretch. That's really, really important. But as far as colors, we talked about it. So I got green pumpkin orange. I've got shad, just a great shad color. I've got just a white trailer to go with this one when I mail it to you. And then I've got right here gill spawn. It's one of my all-time favorites. It's very, very unique. It's got a lot of the colors that a bluegill has in it. So again, I'll have that Shape 108, just a green pumpkin. You know, again, I'll dye them pinchers a little bit chartreuse, thread that right up there on it. It's a great, great bluegill imitator, and it's really a bait that I'll have tied on all through April, all through May. If the fish stay shallow in your body of water, it's a bait you can throw all summer long, but especially in April, guys, those baits right there, They are tied on in that rod box no matter where I go in the country. You know, granted, my top waters may change a little bit to the colors to either represent a shad or a herring, but it's the time of the year to start throwing that top water, swimming that jig, and throwing that spinner bait. I hope these tips help you. I hope they help you become a better angler. Hope they just give you an idea of what to throw a little bit in and around your body of water. Be sure you leave me a comment. Speaking of that, let's get to the winners. I got them on my phone right here. Here are the winners, and guys, these are the only 3 winners. If I don't mention your name right here, you're not a winner. I'm sorry. We just randomly went through here and picked these, but Brian Franks, it's Brian Franks 6327, left a really great comment. I'll put it here on the screen. But Brian, you need to send me an email through my website, really simple, with your address, and then I'm gonna mail you the baits. You don't send me no money, nothing. I just need your address. Appreciate you following along. I got Glock-1. Man, you've been a subscriber for a long time, left a lot of comments. I appreciate the content. Looks like you're from Ohio. It's got a license plate. That's pretty cool. But man, congratulations on leaving that comment. I'm gonna mail you one of each one of these. Just send me your email. And in that email, tell me that you're Glock-1. And then Mike Kupari, C-U-P-P-A-R-I. It's Mike Kupari 5823. Man, I appreciate you, Mike, leaving that comment. Man, you've got a big old fish there in your profile picture. That's a big one. But I appreciate you following along and leaving that comment, guys. You guys just send me an address through my website. I will mail these baits off to you. It's that simple, guys. Just leave a comment, and each month we go through there and randomly pick some winners, and we'll mail them to you, along with a Plano Edge tackle box. I'm actually here at the tournament. I forgot to even talk about it. This video series is sponsored by Plano Edge, so we will mail some Plano tackle boxes with these baits. Kind of a really cool deal by Plano supporting this this series. So guys, I appreciate it. Get out there and go fishing. April, it's one of the greatest months ever. Top water time, swim jig time, spinner bait, a lot of things work, but I know those 3 will. Good luck.